And this is what we are asking for. Deletion of all the powers of the state, all these sections, and especially notify the regional plan 2001. Why are we having so many problems? There are no planning, there are no charts, there is no your village map. Today we are in 21st century. We don't even have our own village land, from where it starts, where it ends. We don't even have a plan. So many technologies are available. Autodesk, which is a company I worked for, they can, with their software, you can just make the Goa can have, is a small place, can do so many things. We can make a topography by sending like in Switzerland, they send helicopters and they measure the temperature of each building, because during winter it's very cold. They did not want that the energy should be wasted. And they come with a plan saying that your building has problems, you have to fix it because you are losing so much of energy. So there are so many things available. Why the government of Goa is not working and giving us a proper mapping system when everything is available today? And IT, Indians are the major important guys who are doing everything in Western world. Swiss banks has been computerized by the Indians. You go to Zurich airport, all the software is done by the Indians. And what we are doing in our own country. Can't we get this? Can't use the softwares? Where are we? Why it is not done? Because politicians are spoiling the soup. It's not the administration, it's a politician. We have to blame our own self, our own politician, because they are the ones who are destroying Goa. Okay. Carry on. So I just want to give the last one. This is what is happening in Goa. Total chaotic. Everybody is running to pillar to post, post to pillar, because our legislation is bad. Everything is bad. I don't want to picture devil on the wall. Not everything, but it's going from worst to still. I don't know. There's no word. Because legislation is bad, and this is what people are fighting. It is very easy to accuse NOGs and all that. Of course, there are some NOGs are not good, but they are fighting for your people, you Kuwaitis, you Goan Kuwaitis. They are fighting for you all there. Why? Because they think that they have to fight because that is going. It's going, your land is going, your water is ruined, your paddy fields are spoiled, your hill is cutting. So, there is no authority in Goa to say, hey, now we stop it. There's nothing. So that's why the energies, I just want to give you one video which I have played. Sorry, I'm taking most of your time, but this is the only opportunity I can give you a message. I hope you'll understand me.
The Panchayat Democratic Forum has resolved to approach the Supreme Court over the alleged move of the state government to take away the powers of the Panchayats and make the Panchayat non-functional. All Goa Panchayat Democratic Forum held a meeting at Margao on Saturday discussing the Panchayati Raj Act, which according to them empowers the secretaries rather than the elected local bodies. Speaking on the occasion, the Vice President of the Panchayat Democratic Forum said that they would approach the Supreme Court to obtain the powers at the grassroots level.
आमका पाबंदी केल्ली आसा हायकोर्टाचे पिटिशन जे आमचेर कोंत्र केल्ले आसा की आमी जेन्ना हायकोर्टान एक डिसिजन दिले त्या डिसिजनाचेर आमी पंचायत पत्ते तेजेर आमी लढपाक शकना एपिलाक वचपाक शकना एपिलाक वचपाक शकता पूण हायकोर्टान वचपाक शकना आनी म्हणूनच हे रॉंग आसा हे सारकें ना हेजेर आमी चॅलेंज करपाक आमी सुप्रीम कोर्टाक वचपाचो थाराव घेतलेलो आसा आनी सगळे फॉर्मांनी आमी रेजोल्यूशन घेतलेलें आसा.
Alleging that the state government was trying to take away the powers of the panchayats, the president of the All Goa Panchayat Democratic Forum said that the Panchayati Raj system was introduced by Mahatma Gandhi in order to help the poor. However, contrary to its intended purpose, the secretaries rather than the local bodies have been vested with more powers.
One by one, the state government is trying to take over the same and making the panchayat non-functionable. So that is why we have all formed a committee. The executive body is there. We have registered it and we are fighting for the.
So this will give you an idea of what's happening in Goa. Okay, this is the Right to Information Act, which is very important. If you want any information in Goa, any office, maybe a chief secretary's office or any office, a tourism office, any office, you use this tool, which is very, very important for you. They have to give you an answer to your question unless it is a security concern. Otherwise, you will write an application and you will ask the government of Goa what has happened where, why this is done, why it is like this, where is my file is gone, my house was supposed to be built last year, where is the file is gone, where is this? This is the act, this is the tool where all the Goans have to use. And this is the Right to Information Act, which is very, very important for you and me. If we have properties, we have everything. You want to have the information, you go to the police, you go anywhere, just fill the form, put a stamp, write application, and they have to give you an answer. So Goans, I just ask you all to be united, and for the next election, please, I beg you all, so we get the good legislatures, MLAs. Don't go after the slogans. Slogans will never bring us anything. They pour the money. Money is not everything. But if you all think, if you all tell each one of your friends or your family members, we will make a difference in Goa. Tell them which person should go to the legislative assembly. The MLAs or minister, whoever may be rich, they may be anything. They can pour money. But you all can make a difference in Goa by telling each one of your friends, each one of your mother, your brother, your sister, your neighbor, your father-in-law, whatever it is. Tell them, give the message, pass the message, saying that the next, because our fate is on the next legislative assembly. You all may have read, there are so many idiots MLAs we have, which have no brains, but they're holding the rein. Why? It is the fault of you and me, because we voted for them. They say, I have done it. I have done it. Did they pay from their pocket? Did they use their money to do the vote, whatever progress they are making in Goa? No. No. This is your money, your hard-earned money. You pay taxes, and they are using the money to construct the thing. So I don't want to go further. I've already given the message. So in the next election, I beg you all to send this message. Be united and send a message to all the Goans that the things should change in Goa. So these are, because of this past legislation, this is the bad problems. These are the headlines which I have. I have brought some of them. These are the headlines we hear every day. Why? We have no proper planning. No planning we have. The government of Goa is hesitating to make the legislation. Instead of protecting our own land, they are destroying the land, which I have never seen in other democracies. Look at this. These are the problems. They are creating the problems. The government is playing with us. If the legislation was good, then this problem, these headlines would not have been there. Press headlines. So, just read this and that's it. Okay. So, keep something for our generation, future generation. Give them a chance. Give them the land. They will curse you and me because we have not left them anything else. So this is what is for our next generation. So this is some references for the internet. If you all want to have internet, you all can have some reference here. Any questions? Sorry, I have no time to take question. Maybe we can meet somewhere on the around the table. Can ask me anything, I can give you all as long as I can. Or otherwise, we have the Goan administration here. You can ask them. Aning Sord, Diobore Koromantadumko.
With the thorough study and a nice, beautiful presentation. We hope our dreams about Brno turning Goa into a Switzerland-type system are realized soon. Very interesting speech. It should definitely leave an impact on all the people who have attended this convention. Our present day education system worldwide is complicated indeed. It could change the future dimension of Goa or trigger a reverse brain drain. For now, we may just have to wait and watch for the next techniques and development in education. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker for the event has a postgraduate degree from Buffalo State and is certified to teach children with special needs. She is currently working for an international school in Kuwait, which caters to the needs of students with mild learning capabilities. Her topic for the event is learning support for children with learning difficulties in schools. Please welcome Sheila Di Costa. A big clap, ladies and gentlemen.
Director of NRI Affairs, Mr. Ullas Kamath, Chief Secretary, Mr. Sanjay Srivastav, Honorable Mr. Luisin Falair, President of Goan Cultural Center, Mr. Suresh Naik, and Goan Cultural Center Chair, Mr. Carmo Santos, and my distinguished fellow Goans. I have been in the field of education for the past 11 years and have worked exclusively with students with learning disabilities and would like to address the issue of students with specific learning disabilities and behavioral issues and the lack of support in an Indian classroom both in Goa and Kuwait. Students with a learning disability often are referred to as being at risk, and they are characterized as students who perform below expected grade level for their age, exhibit disruptive behavior and rebellious attitudes, have a low level of self-esteem, have low achievement test scores, exhibit language difficulties, for example, dyslexia, dyscalculia, dysgraphia, students falling on the autistic spectrum such as Asperger's syndrome, or simply a slow learner. And I want to say that these situations are further aggravated taking into consideration that most parents work full-time and therefore have minimal contacts with their children at home or are just ignorant. So at this point, I feel that what matters more besides parental support is the learning environment the child is exposed to, and in this case, the school, which needs to be the primary source of intervention and support. Again, the question arises as to how many trained educators we have available. and how many exposures they have had with regard to the special needs of the child. And this is critical because the child could be left behind without proper intervention and the right strategies. Let me familiarize you with the term specific learning difficulties or disabilities. These are neurological differences that affect the brain's ability to receive, process, or analyze information so that they severely limit a person's ability to learn in a specific skill area. These students have average to above average intelligence but have difficulties acquiring and demonstrating knowledge and understanding. And this results in a lack of achievement for age and ability level and a severe discrepancy between achievement and intellectual abilities. Living with specific learning disabilities is a painful struggle for both the child and the parents. Just to recall our constitutional rights to providing education, educational opportunities and guaranteed compulsory education to all children, the 86th Constitutional Amendment from 2002 included a new Article 21A which notes education as a fundamental right. These amendments have direct impact on students with disabilities in the area of early intervention, education and parental support. All existing policies in the Constitution have invariably included children with mental retardation or severe disabilities and have stated that education of children with milder disabilities will be common with others, which means students with disabilities will have special schools, but students with milder disabilities or specific learning disabilities such as dyscalculia, dyslexia will function in a regular classroom. Well, that doesn't possibly have long-term benefits, and I want to state an example here. Taking an example of a typical grade 5 or grade 7 classroom, we know that proficient reading is an essential tool for learning a large part of the subject matter taught in school. While the teacher is reading text and students comprehend, a dyslexic child may encounter great difficulty in following the text depending upon the severity of his learning difficulty. A dyslexic child who has difficulty in acquisition of these literacy skills can suffer a lot of anguish and trauma. Much can be done to alleviate this by integrating the child into the class environment, since class teachers may be particularly confused by the students whose consistent underachievement seems due to what may seem like carelessness or lack of effort. Back in India, educational facilities range from special schools to inclusive schools, and inclusive schools deal with students with milder disabilities I just mentioned now. I acknowledge the work done by NGOs in Goa by introducing resource rooms in 3 schools in Goa, and during my meet with the director of Sangat in Goa last summer, I learned that most volunteers are trained at the NGO center. So I feel that not much progress can be done with only NGOs and a few teachers contributing to the learning of the child, and this can be a slow and inexplicable issue. Why or how does education need to change to accommodate everyone? The overall goal of education is to ensure that school is a place where all children participate and are treated equally. This involves a change in how we think about education. I believe that we have to work on an access to success continuum by promoting policies to ensure that all students with learning disabilities, if not able to function in a regular classroom, get into school coupled with programs and practices that ensure that they succeed there. Since every child is unique and has unique potentialities, therefore every educator has to maximize the students' learning by creating an environment conducive to learning. I'm thinking of a modified and adapted program to best meet each student's individual learning needs in order to maximize the learning potential of every student. And ultimately maybe a resource room or an independent school accommodating such students. A resource room is a special education classroom in a regular school where some students with learning disabilities or specific learning disabilities receive direct and specialized instructions as individuals or in small groups. These classrooms are staffed with special education teachers and sometimes educational assistants. And this classroom is generally consisting of about 5 to 8 students with 2 teachers. And each student has an individual educational plan and has remediate general education curriculum. For example, a student with dyslexia will receive reading recovery support or one-to-one tuition. I want to point to the fact that not many graduates want to venture into teaching simply because teachers are paid less than most other professions, and I feel that teaching is the most undervalued profession and yet the most important of all, since teachers primarily deals with an important commodity of our nation, our future doctors and architects. I acknowledge the 6th Pay Commission in India, which has provided incentives to a wide sector of workplaces. But I still feel teachers should be better recognized with regard to incentives. I would end with a quote by Henry Ford: "Coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success." This convention is presumably a beginning to working together to achieve our goals in education. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Taylor Di Costa. That was beautiful. I would like to bring up the subject of non-resident Indian contribution to the peace and prosperity of Goa and Indians around the world. There is a significant Goan population abroad that is highly talented, resourceful, and quite sensitive towards the development of our Goa. I understand that NRIs are busy in making money, making their career and life meaningful, but there comes a time when they ought to dedicate some time in developing themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker for this event hails from the village of Kalangut in Goa and is now based in Dubai. He was instrumental in setting up the Radio Goa network, which broadcasts 2 online Konkani channels 24 hours a day. He is the founder and chief patron of the recently launched UAE Goan Review, the only Goan publication from the UAE. Please welcome for a topic on the prospects of NRIs in the Middle East and preserving Goan culture in diaspora, Mr. Benedict Lobo from the United Arab Emirates. Please welcome Mr. Benedict.
Thank you. You can take Goans out of Goa, but you cannot take Goa out of the Goans. The Chief Secretary, Shri Srivastava, Mr. U.D. Kamath, Chairman of the NRIFS, and the GCC Chairman, Mr. Karma Santos. Goans have crossed the globe, immigrating to various continents in search of betterment for their future. The prospect of starting one's own enterprise, obtaining a better future for their family, and walking a better investment are some of the reasons why Goans have left their homeland of Goa in pursuit of a better outcome. These are the Goans who successfully labored to give their children and grandchildren better economic future. Despite adopting customs, traditions and cultures in their new homelands, these Goans still remain true to their traditions and customs, ascertaining, discovering, and reaffirming their common identity as Goenkas. The Goan ethos of communal harmony and prosperity has helped lead to the uniting of Goans scattered throughout the globe. The Goan diaspora has indeed transformed the way the world views Goans and thus the home country India. Goa today has a population of about 15 lakhs, and it is a known fact that the Goan diaspora has a bigger number than this. Simply put, there are more Goans living outside Goa than the entire population of the state today. And United Arab Emirates constitute a large part of this population. There are an estimated 1 lakh Goans living in the UAE alone, a majority of which live in the 3 largest cities of the country, that is Dubai, Abu Dhabi and Sharjah. Of this, Dubai has the largest population. The discovery of oil brought with it an influx of Goan workers in the 1960s, which drastically increased in the 1970s and 80s with the expansion of the oil industry and free trade in Dubai. Even though the strength of emotional and cultural ties between them and the motherland was strong, there was little here in the UAE to sustain this thirst. As phone calls were not affordable, a seldom letter from home kept these Goans informed of the happenings back home in Goa. Today, our community in the UAE have come a long way. We have established a network of cultural associations which cater to our needs. Cultural associations such as Global Goans UAE, the Goan Welfare Society, and numerous other Goan groups support cultural networks of the Goan community in the UAE. Due to this, in recent years, the relationship between the Goans in the UAE has grown stronger with their homeland. The numerous theatros from Goa and local artists, the Goa Carnival, celebration of the feast of St. Francis Xavier, our patron saint, Goan football tournaments, and Sanjam festivities are visible proof that during the entire year, individuals, families and community groups have been busy keeping Goan traditions alive in UAE. Goans, who despite being away from Goa is making a shine on a global level, on a global platform. There is a general argument, especially on some internet forums, that Goans in Dubai are only known to celebrate Goan functions and have turned a blind eye to the so-called destruction of Goa. Well, let me assure you that the Goans in UAE has been doing their bit. We have been holding several awareness campaigns which has been meets both in Abu Dhabi and Dubai, and have successfully done a signature campaign which has been handed to the NRI Commission and a few Goan ministers and ministries. Unfortunately, not much has come out of it, and we are still awaiting for answers. Most UAE Goans are disillusioned with Goa's political status on rampant mining, mega projects, and destruction of environment. So once again, I have brought the questionnaire to be handed over to NRI Commissioner, Sri Eduardo Falerio, as a follow-up. Since he is not there, probably I will hand it over to the Director. In conclusion, once again let me say, you can take the Goan out of Goa, but you cannot take Goa out of the Goan. This culture of ours thrives on wherever we may be. And Global Goans UAE has been in the forefront to enrich this rich culture of ours by organizing events and other activities that not only maintain our identity but also showcase it to a multicultural society of the United Arab Emirates. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, now there are butterflies fluttering in our stomachs. So I kindly request Mr. Carmo Santos and Mr. Suresh Naik to escort the dignitaries to the buffet table. Mr. Carmo Santos and Mr. Suresh Naik. Well, ladies and gentlemen, all of you can join now to the buffet.
We have seen in the morning some of the aggressive speakers taking up to the stage and talking about the needs, the specialties of being NRI Goans. Attention please, People at the back, could you please take your seats? To escort Mr. Rao. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, please applause. A big clap to Mr. Rao. We welcome you, sir. People at the back, I would please request you to take your chairs. We are going to start the program right away. All right, thank you very much. There is a long list of good things back home in Goa that would tempt us to go back home to people, relatives, parents, entertainment, advanced medical facilities, growing economy, opportunities, good weather, of course it is still raining there, culture, and of course, to say the least, our roots. We have among us this afternoon a dynamic personality coming from the land of Lothul in Goa. He completed his studies and has been in Africa for more than a decade now. Presently, he is working for an IT company called Technobrain Limited as a general manager and is heading 3 African countries, namely Mozambique, on a subject that is going to be very interesting to us. Now, I will come to know how many of the people gathered here have eaten less. They will clap less. Those people who have eaten less will clap less. And those people, I think, who have eaten more will probably fall asleep. So I would like to welcome with a big cheer and a big round of applause, Mr. Vivek Arauj, all the way from Africa. He will speak. Does Goa lead us? Or do we need Goa? Mr. Vivek Arauj.
A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to start my speech with a few issues, a few points after I attended the Canada Convention and the Qatar, I think the Qatar Muscat Convention last year, and a few other the Goan African conventions. I'd like to address, like the normal protocol, His Excellency, I'm just trying to get his name, hold on. Yeah, His Excellency the Ambassador of India to Kuwait, Mr. Ajay Malhotra, the First Secretary, Mr. K. Narasimha Rao, and you have Sri Luisine Faleiro, Director Mr. Kamath, Mr. Cardinal Santos, Mr. Suresh Naik, and all the ladies and gentlemen. I've heard a lot of speeches being done by many strong speakers. I'll just give you an example. What happened last year in Qatar? I know there are some people here who can vouch what happened. I came to Qatar, was given a warm welcome, met lots of people. Some of them gave me cards, visiting cards, and I collected them like, the small smart cards, and I took them with me to Africa. But when I interacted with people there, they said, why don't you come to Goa? Oh, you're doing well in Africa. We need people like you in IT, and unfortunately, Sri Luisine Faleiro is not there. When he made a mention that you guys should come to Goa and do something on IT. Fair enough, I met Sri Edward Faleiro, I met all the other people, and when I went back to Africa, I sent them a mail. I called them up, I called the secretary of the NRI office. It's 1 year now, I've not received not even a reply. I mean, I have a very great respect for Mr. Kamath. I almost grew with him, because I know him for ages. I used to be a dancer on the cruises in Goa, I used to be a dancer for all the hotels and singing, but not the dancer which you might think, but in the Goan folklore troupe. There are certain points that Sri Luis Falero really made. He made some very good points. The Goans are not there for development. Goans are not here, Goans are not there. I'm this, I'm that, and that. This is exactly what happened in Qatar last year. People said, even in Canada when I went for the convention, they said, I'll do this, I'll do that. And it's like when you pray in different churches, they say, hallelujah, hallelujah, you're healed, and you fall, and you say, oh God, I'm alive. This is what the conventions are. But in a nutshell, I would like to ask all of you, would you know what is the meaning of a convention? Or you can just write East African Goan Convention, a Global Goan Convention, whatever the conventions you might think of. I'll just give you a small definition. I just browsed on my internet on my mobile and I'm just doing a few notes. There are different meanings, but I'll just give you one. A meeting or an assembly of persons, especially of delegates or representation to accomplish some specific object, civil, social, political, or ecclesiastical. Now, I don't know where our conventions fall in place because we talk a lot, and I think I've met most of the people almost after 1 year. During 1 year, nobody knows whether I'm alive or dead. Similarly, what happened in Canada, I went, I attended, nobody knows what happened to Vivek, whether he died or he's resurrected from the dead, nothing. Just 1 month before, I get mails and all, and I thank Karma. But my main thing is, I've come here to give you a speech, I do not want anybody to clap and say you did well.